everybody, Shawn here. Welcome to my studio. I've got a pedal for you today to check out. It's made by Pettyjohn and it's called the Fuzze. It's part of their Foundry series pedals, which are the smaller, more kind of pedal board friendly boxes. This one's a really cool concept in that it has two parallel circuits. One is Distortion and the other is Fuzz. Now the controls are as follows. You've got a level control, which is obvious. That's the output of the box. You've got a gain control. Now that gain control only works on the distortion side of the box, not on the fuzz side. Now for the fuzz gain, they've employed a three-way toggle switch. In the up position, it's going to be medium gain. In the down position, it's going to be the lowest gain. And then in the middle, it's what they're calling nuke. And you'll get the idea when you hear it. It's quite a bit of gain and gets pretty crazy sounding. You've got two EQ controls. Both are cuts. One is for the lows and the other is for the highs. Now the low cut is actually before the distortion circuit, and the high cut is actually after. The low cut is a little more of a sweep to me, and you guys will hear it in the demo, but it's really, really musical, sounds great, and it's nice that it's before the distortion circuit. And the high cut is also very audiophile, very musical. It's after the distortion circuit, so if you got some ice-picky elements you're trying to get out of, say, a solo tone, then you can dial it right in. Now the control in the center is the mix control, and that is going to allow you to choose between the two circuits. So all the way to the left is going to isolate the fuzz, all the way to the right is going to isolate the distortion circuit, and then anywhere in the middle is going to blend the two in parallel, which makes for just a lot of really great tones. It's all audiophile components. I'm not going to go into all the components because I don't even know what they are, but I know they're really high end. But one thing I do want to point out is that it is running on a dual rail power. So if you say plug in a 9-volt power supply, it's actually going to double it to 18. So you're going to be able to plug in anything from 9 to 18 volts, and it's going to get doubled anywhere from 18 to 36 volts. So that's just a ton of headroom, and there's not a lot of guys that are doing that. And it just makes the box sound that much more open. So yeah, true bypass switching plays really friendly with boxes in front of or behind it, just because of the circuitry that they've employed. So yeah, without further yammering on, let's check out the Pettyjohn FUZE. Okay guys, let's check out this Fuzze pedal. I'm going to use my PRS Dave Grissom model into my divided by 13 FTR 37. So here is just the amp and guitar. And here is the Fuzze. Okay, so what you're hearing right now is the isolated distortion side. I've actually got the gain off, so it starts out with a pretty good amount of gain and then goes up from there. Let's just check out the sweep of the gain real quick before we do anything else. So a pretty good amount of gain on tap. It ramps up fairly slow. I don't notice a lot of difference until I'm kind of closer to the 12 o'clock point, but then it does kick in rather well. Okay, so let's just listen while we're still isolating just the distortion side. Let's listen to the EQ. Now, as I said, the low cut is actually before that distortion circuit. and fuzz circuit, and the high cut is actually after. So let's just roll the lows real quick. Now, the one thing I find really interesting about that is it's not so much a high cut as much as it is kind of a sweep, and it might just be something I'm perceiving because as you roll those out, you might hear more upper mids. But that's how it kind of sounds to me. It's really musical. And it seems to create a little bit of gain as well. I really like it. It's super, you know, just studio quality sweep on it. I really dig it. Let's listen to the high cut. So that's highs all the way open. So I like that being after because you can really tame that top end, especially if you're wanting to blow a solo or something and you don't want it to get too kind of ice picky in the top. You can kind of make adjustments to fix that. Like if that's a little too bitey. And that sounds great. That's about where I would probably set it, just depending on the circumstance. Okay, cool. So we've looked at that side. Now let's go back and look at just the fuzz side isolated. I'll go ahead and sweep the mix all the way to the left. Now with this, you don't have a gain control per se, a sweepable knob. It's just a switch. In the up position, you know, let's start in the down position. In the down position, you're going to have the least amount of gain. So here's how it sounds. That's a really good sounding fuzz circuit. Okay, so that's in the lower gain setting, and we can kind of do the same thing really quick. I'll give you guys just a sweep of the EQ. So yeah, still really usable EQ circuit with the fuzz side of it. Okay, so that's that setting. That's the low setting. Now let's go ahead and throw the switch up to the up position of the three. This is slightly higher gain. Now you can tell it's a little bit tubby with that much gain, so we can just roll it off a bit. Okay, so we've got that gain setting. Now he's got a setting in the center that they call affectionately nuke, which is just a ton of gain. So I'll turn that on. So real quick, that's the low gain, a little bit more gain, and then the center. So just a ton of gain there, tons of sustain. I don't have the monitors that loud in here, so that's pretty remarkable amount of sustain and just gain. But it still is articulate enough. If you play faster, it's pretty darn usable. Okay, so now that we've got all kind of wrapped up in the nuke thing, let's wind back out of that and check out blending these two guys. So I'll just do it real quick, and you guys can get an idea. So I'm going to throw it to the distortion side. Maybe that's going to be the best way to start this. So that sounds cool. Let's start sweeping the mix to the left and start bringing a fuzz into it. So this is all the way around the fuzz side. So you can tell, you know, if you're wanting like just a little bit more like top end hair, but not necessarily treble or presence, you could kind of roll towards the fuzz side and it would start kind of giving you that kind of upper end just hair on it. Really, really great idea. I don't know if I mentioned, but the two circuits are in parallel, which is awesome. Yeah, that's pretty much it, man. And of course you can you know, do all, I mean, there's a gazillion different settings you could do as far as rolling the gain up and down into, you know, what you're doing with the fuzz circuit. You can throw the switch back and forth. I mean, it's just pretty complex what you can do, and it would take me too long to go through all of that. This gives you an idea. Cool. So that is the Fuzz. I hope you guys enjoyed this demo. If you've got any questions, of course, reach out to Pettyjohn. And I've got more demos coming in the future, so please stay tuned. All right, you guys. Thanks.